Tell me what you're drinking, we can go pour one. Tell me what you're thinking, we can have some more fun.
Hi, and welcome to a new episode of Stealing Home. It's March 4th. We're in the middle of spring training, and we've got a great episode to you coming from multiple locations across the country. That's how seriously we're taking this show now.
Worldwide, baby.
Yeah, exactly. But we've got a special guest, so I'm going to turn it over to Ant. Please introduce our esteemed colleague.
Yeah, so this show has had a long list of exceptional guests, and now we have someone joining that list as well. This is my friend Levi Bognar, who's joining a list that we had a guy, Brett Lindsay, who's the Czech Republic Shohei Ohtani, and now I would say this is like the economic Babe Ruth here, Levi Bognar. Levi,
we had our dad. Don't forget Pop.
Oh, yeah.
He was also on. Yeah.
Well, I said honored, like, exceptional
right.
guest.
My bad.
Yeah.
Let's talk to the Babe Ruth of economics.
Well, first of all, it's an honor to be on the show. It's an honor to be mentioned in those long list of names.
One person.
I also must admit that I actually am quite a big fan of the show.
Let's go.
And so it is my favorite and only baseball podcast that I currently listen to. So the favor is returned.
Now, Levi, for those of you who don't know, grew up with me in high school, and we were boys on the baseball team. So he does have some exceptional knowledge in the sport of pelota, as they say in the DR, right? But he's a econ absolute stud, and he's been telling me about this this conference he's going to, the SABR conference out in Phoenix, Arizona?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Phoenix.
Sweet. And he sent me this bio that the conference put together for him. And it's I'm jealous as hell. You want to talk about a bio that is riddled? I mean, they did their due diligence in hyping this guy up. And I'm supposed to be his hype man, and they're kind of taking my thunder with this. So just a little background on Levi, courtesy of SABR and their bio here. A senior analyst at the economic consulting firm Compass Lexicon. And prior to this, he was a research assistant with the Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago. His research appeared in multiple Chicago Fed outlets, including the Chicago Fed Working Paper Series, the Chicago Fed Letter, the Chicago Fed Insights, and the Midwest Economy blog. He also presented research on sports analytic topics, including a presentation in 2023 MIT Sloan Sports Analytics Conference. And he obviously went to I think me and Lisa would agree, the second best institution for college in America, Notre Dame up there.
Yes, second best.
Second
you either
best.
love the Knowles or you love God, and I've made my choice.
never
So I'm okay with it.
On second thought, when she puts it that way, I'm with Levi. That is the best university. I want a spot in heaven, so I'm going for Notre Dame. But yeah, no, Levi's been hitting me up because he's got this sweet presentation that he's been working on that he's going to give at this SABR Analytics Conference. And Lisa, I don't know if you know about SABR, but I knew of it, and through talking with Levi, I've learned a lot. Have you heard of this, Lisa?
I have not. I'm guessing that it's not a sports conference. It's more of a smart people conference that we wouldn't go to.
No, it's both. So
Levi
dropped
sweet.
a bomb on. I told him that this was like what all front office people are loving right now. Probably conferences like this. I know Levi can tell you a little bit more about what SABR is and all that.
Yeah, so SABR, SABR, it stands for the Society for American Baseball Research. And it's essentially just like a baseball research collective. They also have like their own academic journal where like professors and other academics can submit papers specifically containing to like the economics of baseball or just like analytics in baseball. And every year they host like multiple conferences. I know there's one like their main one is in Minneapolis this fall. They have one like on all sorts of different like research topics. And so the one that I'll be going to this Friday, March 8th, is like specifically for like the sports analytics conference that they host.
That's really cool. So is it SABR that we have to blame for how analytics has like almost ruined baseball?
It's made it better too. It's made it better.
Yeah, right.
Too.
I'm sure they're the same people who maybe gave us the pitch clock, so I can't be too mad.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not sure. I'd actually be curious to see like when they started. But I'm sure it's been like a I'm sure SABR was more of a result of the kind of the analytics revolution than the cause.
Okay. Sure. I
Lisa,
like that.
look, Lisa's already, before you even give the presentation, trying to create like an image of SABR being
Controversy.
like Darth Vader's empire. It's just a bunch of dudes in black suits and calculators just destroying sitting in the corner destroying baseball. No, it's like Moneyball,
No.
Brad Pitt.
That's
And
cool.
so it is like it's not just like academics. It's also like execs and like more businessy types. And so it's kind of similar to the Sloan conference that Anthony mentioned in that it's meant to be like kind of like this combination of like, you know, the business world of baseball and then like the academic minds in the academy.
That's dope. Yeah, that's awesome.
When Levi told me he was doing this, I think he knows this is right up my alley because I don't know how, but by the grace of God, I also got an econ degree. And I also love baseball.
No one can figure out that mystery,
Yeah.
but apparently it happened.
And I also love baseball, so this was right up my alley when you telling me this stuff. So
I think what's the coolest thing about it is that you're actually presenting at Levi, so that's like a big accomplishment. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely an honor, and I'm excited. And like, it's certainly not something that I've done by myself. It's like I have a co-author, and he was very instrumental.
Scott.
So.
And he's
Shout out
humble
Scott.
too. Look at him, guys. He's the best.
So talk about honor. We're honored though because Levi's actually gonna pretty much present to us and show us what he's been working on with his boy. Was it Scott Brave?
Mm-hmm. Scott Brave.
Scott.
So we're gonna get we're gonna get a little bit of a sneak peek of it, and you guys will hear some of our questions after we get the presentation. But if you want to understand the whole thing and see it, we'll be posting that after the conference. So make sure to come back to this channel. We'll be posting that video so you can get the all the details. But I'm really excited, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of interesting questions we have afterwards.
Thanks, Levi, for sharing us the carrot and the stick, dude. I was excited for this. We've been in the works trying to get this set up, and I'm excited for Friday, March 8th, when you get to go out there. I hope they live stream it so I can watch it a second time.
Yeah, was it clear? I'm hoping it.
No, not really, dude. But
yeah.
I mean,
as someone who doesn't know, as someone who's not a front office person or an economist,
or smart.
It made sense to me.
talking about myself there. Lisa's a lot smarter than me.
It made sense. I thought it was, like you said, it's a pretty simple, at the heart of it, analysis of cost benefits.
Yeah.
So I think it made a lot of sense.
Yeah, when you put it in that framework, it's like, yeah, okay, well, it's all like everything econ. Decisions are made at the margin, so you know,
hell yeah.
Am I gonna take roids or not? Last question before we move on. You're more than welcome to stay and talk about some stuff.
You got to stay a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Or are you gonna head
I'm
out?
staying.
Sweet.
Okay. All right.
Sweet.
Yeah.
The last thing I wanted to ask is Barry Bonds, should he be in the Hall of Fame? All the roid guys, should he be in the Hall? What is your take? And if you can't give it because it's too political, then we understand.
Political.
I don't know, bro. You might. It's like that's like asking who you vote for in baseball world. It's like if the roid boys should be in the Hall or not.
True.
So this is gonna be such a Levi answer.
He's gonna be like, it
My
depends.
No, it's a yes or yes or no, Levi.
So-
That's all we're taking.
So
Politician.
in a world where you would know the exact date where they started to take PEDs, then I would say you could allow them in, conditional on the fact that they're essentially like their transcripts pre-PEDs was Hall of Fame worthy. So we don't know necessarily when Barry Bonds started to take PEDs, or maybe we do. I don't know if that's public, but I would imagine
I don't.
he's gonna say, "Oh yeah, I didn't start until I was a year before retiring," but whatever. But of course, you know, if you have a Hall of Fame worthy career before using PEDs, then I would say yes. Now, because you guys are gonna make me choose, because we don't know that, don't know that, I do kind of say like I don't think any of them should be allowed, which I know is like very like not a young person thing to say. I know that's a very old head take.
That used to be my take too, so I used to agree.
But I think like when I think about it and how like it does, like at the end of the day, like it, even if it can't, like the fact that it even impacts your transition probability at all in the minor leagues, I can't really imagine, what the benefits could possibly be for a player that's like even like way more on the right tail in terms of like ability. I would imagine actually it would probably help them more. But that's me like completely speculating. Just because I'm like, okay, if it helps some minor league guys get promoted, like Barry Bonds could probably and did kill it. So that's kind of my take on it, which I know is like I'm gonna get booed out.
Boomer
the gym,
take.
but,
No, I actually think that is a perfect
I think it's fair
question to tease this presentation. So like we mentioned, we'll be posting it after Friday when Levi gives his presentation at SABR. So make sure you tune back in and you hear it. But it was an amazing presentation. So you absolutely should stop what you're doing, stop whatever you're doing on Friday, because this is coming out before Friday, and go back and watch that video.
before you go out to the bars. Go put on that presentation.
Before you get wasted, get some knowledge.
No one said that. Drink
learn...
responsibly. Drink responsibly.
Learn about the marginal PED using player.
That's the one thing I worry about before I go out.
Yeah.
All right, just
before I go out on a Saturday night, I'm like, what about the margins on performance enhancing drugs? That's what I care about.
So we can jump in a little bit that's going on in baseball, and by a little bit, just stuff that I thought like, this is kind of interesting. Spring training's still going, and being in Tampa, I have a couple buddies. I went to the Yankee game the other night, and I think Anthony Rizzo hit 2 home runs. Judge and Soto went yard too, and every year it seems like the Yankees have a bunch of hype around them, talking about how they're going to be good every year. And I'm always one to say it's not going to happen. It's not the Yankees year. And I'm most of the time right, because they're just not good, and they always undersell the Rays. But is this the year now that the Yankees have Marcus Stroman, they have Juan Soto, Rizzo looks good in spring training, and I know it's spring training, but is this the year that the Yankees are officially back? Are the Bronx Bombers back? What do we think?
Yeah, it's hard for me to say because I did do that spring training video. And so I know that there is no correlation between spring training performance and World Series wins. But they do look really good this year. And maybe that's the former Yankees fan in me. I don't know. But I'm actually kind of excited to see what comes out of the Bronx this year.
I'm
honestly
worried.
I feel like they just have so many players that are injury prone, and it's like their most like highest productive guys, like Rizzo, Stanton, Judge,
LeMahieu.
So it's like,
yeah.
So it's like, okay, like I'll believe it when they're not missing like a quarter or half the season.
Talk about caveats. I think fair. That's a really good take. They're back as long as they're on the field. If they get hurt, it's like same old. But
yeah, and we don't even know which Juan Soto is coming, do we? Like, which one is it?
Oh.
Him or the AI?
Oh, yeah.
Hard to tell how that's going to work out.
I think both of them probably rake. I don't know. Yeah. But no, every year, MLB Network and MLB.com just, they love the Yankees. Oh, the Yankees are going to win 100 games this year and win the East. And not every year. Usually far from it. And I usually call it because big market or why?
You know why they always hype up? Because it's a national brand.
Yeah. So, Notre Dame shout out.
I should hang up on you for that.
Notre Dame shout out right there. No, but I always call it that these guys are full of it, and it is that national brand. They're just milking it. This year, though, I think this is the first year in like 10 years where I'm like,
are you scared?
I'm a little scared about the Yankees right now.
You should. Yeah, I think actually you should be. Like Levi said, if they can stop themselves from getting hurt, then the Rays have some competition, I think, for sure.
And watch out.
Plus, the Orioles are good.
If they get Blake Snell.
Well, no one's going to get Blake Snell because Blake Snell apparently wants some sort of contract. Yeah, he's never going to sign a contract. I truly am concerned that this man is not going to sign and enter this year.
Now, Lisa, you had a good story. She texted me today, and she goes, "Yankee fans are the best." And I was like, "What is this?"
It is
like,
true.
I was like, "That's a sentence that has never been said in the history of
Yeah, for real. That's a hot take.
English language." So I was like, "What happened? Why is it that Yankee fans are the best?"
Well, speaking of correlations, I have noticed one between times when I am wearing Yankees merchandise and a man helps me with something. And I just feel like that's good enough for me. And you'll remember one time we got parking because
Oh,
I was wearing a
Jesus.
Yankees jersey. And then
At a Pete
today,
Alonso event too, who plays for the Mets, a guy gave us parking because we had Yankee stuff on.
they're everywhere. And honestly, these men are doing more for me than like I think any men have ever in the terms of like I actually want to root for the Yankees now just because they keep helping me out. One guy saw my Yankees hat that I happened to be acquaintances with and was like, "Do you want spring training tickets?" And I was like, "I would love that." Yes. So we might go to a spring training game for the show. We'll find out how good Yankees men are.
Were they? I hope those tickets are in like the upper deck, triple deck of left field.
They're parking tickets, not even tickets to the game.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I can tell you more offline, Levi, like what this connection is for this man, but who knows? Maybe they're decent. Maybe they're decent tickets. We've yet to find out.
It's spring training. There's no upper deck really. I was thinking about.
I'm just saying, look, every time I wear a Yankees hat or a Yankees shirt or Yankees anything, some man pops out of the woods and like helps me with something.
That's
so
good
I think
for you.
I need to become a Yankees fan.
All my interaction with Yankee fans have not been that good. They usually tell me to screw off and how much they hate us. But
Well,
How many
you're always
interactions do you get when you wear Florida State stuff? Probably not that many.
actually,
oh,
quite
good
a lot.
point. No, that's a good point.
okay, fun.
The ratio is definitely lower for Florida State.
Outside the state of Florida.
Fun tangent, and this is exactly where I was going before you said that. I was in New York and I walked into a God, who is the Ralph Lauren store.
Fake story. She stuttered. Not
No,
real.
it's real. I was trying to remember who has the coffee. I went through a few. Anyway, look, I went into this very nice store and it was like the kind of store where I don't touch things because I know I can't afford anything in them. And I'm wearing a FSU beanie, and this guy was like, "Go Gators!" And then I turned around and attacked him because I thought that was a really rude thing to say. But he was really nice, and
That was an
he
insult.
was just messing with me. No, he was just messing with me. So I'm just saying, people recognize the brand and they say things about it. So outside of Florida, take that for what it is.
Yeah, typical Notre Dame fan. I heard they all have internet girlfriends up there in Notre Dame.
Hey, we can't all be
Manti
Rudy.
Te'o. Manti Te'o reference. Also, Rudy. I've been on record on this show saying terrible movie, but we don't have to get into it. Rudy's not good. Not even anywhere
Next
near
topic.
Top. Okay.
Yeah, anyway, so the
He's
Yankees
like,
are
pass.
back.
Yankees, I think, might be back, but then, like Levi said, probably not. They won't be on the field. So
Yeah, if a bowling ball just like takes the whole team out and they're out for the rest of the season, like no more Yankees.
I think another big story with spring training so far has been the Los Angeles Dodgers and Shohei Ohtani in the new uniform. That lineup, the first three batters, Mookie Betts, Shohei Ohtani, and Freddie Freeman, the league has a problem. And again, it's spring training, so I'm definitely drinking the Kool-Aid and reacting way too hard right now over something that doesn't matter at all. But do they look scary? Talk about back. The Dodgers never left and they got stronger. That's all. Not really a question or a topic. I just wanted to put that out there. They look nasty.
I don't think you have to list that lineup and be like, "Oh, I don't want to. It's spring training. I'm not overhyped." Like, yeah, they're dogs. Like,
they're scary, dude. And Shohei Ohtani got married. So
Yeah, I was gonna say actually we have really sad news on Ohtani Watch. He is no longer single, which I'm happy for him, but also sad for me and millions of women like me all over the world.
And some dudes out there, maybe Levi. I don't know.
Yeah, sure,
Maybe.
whatever. I don't judge.
But yeah, no, free
But
agents. What?
You know what? He might be getting married, but at least we have him in see-through pants, so
Oh,
we've got that much
geez.
going.
Yeah, his Johnson's out. But yeah, no, I was gonna say free agent market isn't the only market he's off of now. That lady's got him. And just give it some time. He's gonna get a kid, and can you just imagine Shohei Ohtani with dad strength? That's
True.
Gonna be scary. That is gonna be
Also,
scary.
Like 32?
No, dude, he's young. I think he's like 28, 29. He's not even in his 30s yet.
Oh, thank you. That makes me feel better. Curious. So with his contract with the Dodgers, does any son he also have to play for the Dodgers so that he gets his full payout, or like how does that work?
Well, I think it's not he has to. It's if he does play for the Dodgers, he just carries on Ohtani's contract because they deferred the money so late in life.
Yeah, for the next 200 years, like every Ohtani heir has to now play for the Dodgers in some capacity.
They didn't just sign Ohtani; they signed his whole bloodline.
It's gonna suck if he's got like a really unathletic kid, which I don't it couldn't happen, but if it did, and that guy's got to be the mascot for the Dodgers because like they need him on the roster to pay him, but
just the mascot. Don't put that on Ohtani. That his kids. There's been other baseball players whose kids look gross, like Manny Ramirez, Carl Crawford, former Rays guy. His son is like a prospect for the Phillies right now.
Well, obviously, and then you've got like all the juniors, like the Ripkins and Griffey. But what I was gonna say is we've got the grandson of the wind. So what would Ohtani's son be called, would you say?
Son of God.
I don't know. Son of the light. I'm sure he'll come up with some badass name though. I'm actually excited to hear what that's gonna be.
Showtime is pretty cool though. For Shohei to have a nickname like Showtime, Shohei, that's pretty sweet.
Isn't that what they call Sanders?
That's prime time.
Prime time. Okay.
You're talking about prime time Deion Sanders.
Oh, let's another topic. Let's not get into that.
All right. Well, bottom line there, Dodgers are scary. I'm top team to watch next year, I think, is the Dodgers. And I'm happy they're on national TV like 15 times out of the year. I just sent another picture, and one of the...
Yeah, what is it?
Just
what
wait.
am I looking at?
Just wait. One of the coolest things... I don't have it on the screen yet, so no spoilers. One of the coolest things about baseball is you have a lot of prospects going up against each other. And a big moment was number 1 overall draft pick Paul Skenes going up against number 1 prospect Jackson Holliday, who is a son of Matt Holliday, former Major League Baseball player. And I believe it just ended in a ground out, which is so typical baseball. You know, like big build up and the guy like hits 10 foul balls and then grounds out. And it's anticlimactic. But still really cool. You get to see prospects, something cool about spring training. I wanted to show you who Paul Skenes was, though. Not sure if you've ever seen that man. But he dates Livvy Dunne. That's really cool. And he throws gas. What's your take on that mustache he has?
That's the whole story?
Yeah. It's nothing crazy.
Well, I'm not a fan of the stache. I think not many few men can pull it off convincingly, but I will say that Paul with the Aviators is doing a decent job. So hats off for that.
I'm a fan of the ironic stache. So if you're doing it just to be funny, which he probably
I think he might have started that way.
No idea.
He might have started that way, but now he's
how
really
most of them
into
start.
it.
That's what I was just gonna say. They all start ironically, like, "Oh, it's a joke," and then at some point, you actually like look in the mirror and you go, "Huh, oh, I like this."
Now,
that's exactly how my stash of 2022 started and ended. So.
Yeah, and I had to live through Anthony's, so let's hope we never go down that dark path again.
We should go back.
His actually looks pretty good.
Should we go back to it?
His looks like he's an undercover cop going to high school.
With the stash?
Yeah, like you shouldn't
have a stash.
You should not be there. Yeah.
Like everything about me is like kid except for my stash.
Yeah. You're wearing like sweatpants and socks and sandals, but you have a stash. Like,
I'm not gonna
know
lie.
You're 40 years old.
I don't know what it is. It might just be because he's dating Livvy Dunne and I'm extremely jealous. I am not a fan of Paul Skenes. I don't know what it is.
Remind me who this Dunne lady is.
She's an LSU gymnast.
Yes. Okay.
Absolute baddie queen. and
She's famous on TikTok, Lisa.
that too.
He's
She's an
she's
LSU
like
gymnast.
barely she she's an LSU gymnast like in name only.
She
Ooh.
she participates, bro. Isn't she good? She's good, right?
You don't even know if she's good?
I don't know her. I know her TikToks and that she's hot and that she does gymnast stuff. And she dates Paul Skenes. So Taylor Swift's moved aside. MLB's got Livvy Dunne and Vanessa Hudgens and Kate Upton.
I thought so. Is this like the boyfriend before or after or during Baby Gronk? That's the real question.
Lisa's so lost.
Lisa, do you understand
I've
the
got
TikTok
no
references?
Baby Gronk rizzed up Livvy Dunne.
You're speaking another language at this point. Like, I have no idea what you're saying.
Did you see the second picture I sent you with his stash? She actually curved the handlebar mustache up.
Yeah, I like that.
I don't know if it gives him extra velo. I do like that too, but
this made me like actually now this feels like a hate crime against me. What you're doing, sending me these pictures.
I like the left side of that picture a lot better.
Also, this is the blurriest picture I've ever seen. It's like
Is it bad?
Pixels.
No, like everything you're sending was like shot on a potato. Like what is
going? Oh, I hope the recording's not like that. But that's really
I hope it is.
That's really all I got, and I want to apologize because the topics I literally came up with these. I don't know if you could tell, like an hour before we hopped on because I was trying to figure out the Zoom stuff. So I should be better next week.
It's spring training, and there's a lot going on. So I think, there's a lot going on in that there's like nothing really going on. Everything's so speculative at this point. And honestly, I am tired of questions like the one you posed, Anthony, which is like, this team has these people. Are they gonna win this year? It's like, bro, we just gotta wait.
Lisa,
like, we don't know.
We're in sports media now, so we have to talk about this. Like, is LeBron or Michael to go?
Speculate.
Yeah, and you have to take a stance with zero facts behind it, or else we're just not gonna grow.
And only talk about the Yankees and Dodgers.
Yeah.
Well, we have to talk about the Red Sox.
Unironically, that's actually what happened today, and I didn't even mean to do that. So it looks like we're on the right page. We're like getting there.
I'm just saying, call me in when we actually start baseball, which is soon. We've got less than a month away, right?
I will bring this up. We talked about in the past the free agents that the agent representative for these guys, Scott Boras, has. That being Blake Snell, Jordan Montgomery, Matt Chapman, and another guy I forget off the top of my head. But it ends up being that Matt Chapman actually did sign with the San Francisco Giants. I believe he turned down a contract extension with the Blue Jays, who he used to be with, for like $150 million over 5 years. And he ended up getting a 3-year, $50 million contract because he held out. He said no to the first one. So he ends up getting less guaranteed, but a little bit higher AAV. I think you can chalk that up as a loss for Scott Boras. I don't know. He held out for so long. I mean, shorter year, more AAV. He could be a winner in the long run, you know?
And he doesn't have to live in Canada.
It's like average annual value, I think, is what it stands for. It's pretty much your contract divided by the years. So it's how much you get paid, like, per year total. Like,
so if he had done 5 years at 150,
it would have been 30
a year. Yeah. But now he's doing 3 at 50.
Yeah. So it's like whatever that math is.
So it's lower AAV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's like Scott Boras is just holding out, trying to get like a lot of money from these owners, and the owners aren't paying. And it's like what we said. You know, who's going to budge? And in the past, I feel like if you just held out long enough, they'd end up getting the money they wanted. But I think these teams have actually wised up a little bit. And honestly, probably, I don't even think it's because they're being cheap. I just think they're being smart at this point. Like, why would you spend 7 years, like $100 million contract on somebody when you're probably not going to get 7 years of that kind of production out of them? That's just my 2 cents on that.
Yeah, I'm curious what, our resident economist of the day would say. We're basically making the argument that these players just aren't worth what they're asking for at these large contracts. But I don't know if you have any insider knowledge or speculative arguments that you could give.
Zero insider knowledge. This is all speculation. But I feel like for a team, so if I'm a team and I'm locking up like a long-term deal, I feel like the only reason I would do that is essentially to make the buyout for that player very high. So like for Shohei Ohtani, who his contract is like what, 10 years or something like that. And obviously it's an ungodly amount of money. But I feel like, okay, like the owners and the GMs, like they're not stupid. Like they know that he's not going to be producing the same level at when he's 36, 37 as he is when he's 28. I think more so the idea is to essentially make the buyout for that contract so high that they can essentially guarantee that they'll keep Ohtani in this particular example for the rest of his prime years. And then if somebody wants to buy out the contract later on, they can do that. For me, I would kind of probably liken it to the way contracts, and I don't know, like they're probably quite different, but it's the same reason why college coaches get contracts that are out for like such a long period of time, because you're essentially just trying to make sure that like the buyout is at a premium for those coaches. But obviously for really long contracts, you would only want to save that for players that you are reasonably could expect to perform within a given number.
I think that's the issue is over the recent years, at least, they've just been handing out contracts like that, like candy to everybody. And it's like, dude, there's only one Shohei Ohtani. Like, there's only one Aaron Judge. Like, there's dudes that deserve that kind of stuff. And then, not saying Matt Chapman's bad. I mean, he's an all-star Gold Glove defender, but I guess the market kind of determines your value, you know, and this market doesn't. What? That's the
market determining value.
Isn't that the most economic thing ever? But
like
I mean,
economics 101. I remember that class.
Like,
I think also not to like, I know it's a baseball podcast, but just to kind of keep things in perspective in terms of like the business of sports, like these like massive contracts and the inflation of like how much these players are getting paid, regardless of how, you know, if they're middle or even lower middle tier, like this is something that's happening across all leagues. Like NBA, I don't know if you guys like have followed like what NBA players are making, but even like fifth, sixth best players on a team are making tens of millions of dollars a year. So this is not something that's like unique to baseball.
Yeah. I'm jealous though, because I'm like almost positive there's probably going to be people talking about this at SABR. These front offices, when it comes to like valuing these players, they have like algorithms and formulas and like code that they'll run a guy's stats, specs, like almost everything about him, like his middle name, the initial, and then like they'll be able to determine how much they should, you know, offer that player. Even so much so to the point where I've listened to other interviews from guys like Kike Hernandez did an interview on this show Foul Territory with a couple ex-big leaguers, and he pretty much said like some of these guys in free agency are getting contract offers that are like the exact same number of years. And it's essentially like, yeah, there's no hiding it. These teams are just using this program to kind of shoot out whatever number, and they're like kind of living and dying by that.
Well, you know, to be fair, and again, this is a baseball podcast, but I mean, that's also how it works kind of now in corporate America. Like they will actually sit there and there's algorithms that will decide how much you're worth, and you can negotiate, right? But I think when we're talking about like this with Montgomery and Snell and all these guys that are kind of waiting to get signed, the problem with this, even in corporate America, take this as your HR tip, is if you negotiate too much, you will out negotiate yourself. So at a certain point, you basically don't have a deal on the table because you asked for so much that you're just not worth. That happens for us. It happens apparently for baseball players.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. As long as Blake Snell doesn't go to those Yankees.
I don't know, man. I'm really starting to wonder if these guys are going to make it onto rosters this year.
That would be crazy if they didn't, but that's all. That's all I got.
We're a week, 2 weeks into spring training. Like
we are officially
3 weeks away from opening day. 4 weeks.
20. Yeah, just about. Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't know who you're playing with.
Yeah.
I'd be shitting myself.
Especially if I was a pitcher. I'd like to get in there. I bet these players are too, because think about it. It's not like it's not like MLB The Show where you just get drafted and now you play with the Orioles. It's like, no, like,
Right.
you have to get a house. If you got kids, you got to move the kids. You got to get school. Like,
Oh yeah, I'd love to hear from a wife or girlfriend how she thinks. Like, is Blake? I don't know if Blake Snell's married or anything, but I bet his wife or girlfriend is like,
I
dude,
think, I don't know if he
can
is
we
either,
get a job?
but I know Jordan Montgomery is I think his wife goes to Northeastern in Chicago doing like medical school or something. So people are like, or Chicago.
Northeastern's
bro.
in Boston.
Yeah, that's what I meant, in Boston.
So he chose to be further away from her.
No,
I'd read into
Jordan
that if I were her.
not Matt Chapman. Jordan Montgomery. He hasn't signed yet. But
Oh, okay, my bad.
people are like, oh, the Red Sox are having great conversations with him, and then all the Red Sox fans are like, what else do you need to talk about? It's like, do you want to play here? Yeah. How much? Talk about it. Like, what is a conversation? But
Yeah, the conversation is a cute thing to say for PR purposes when we're in like December,
not spring
when
training.
we're in spring training. Yeah. And again, we're talking about a lot of pitchers too, and they report early. So good luck, guys. I don't know.
Well, I know it's getting late, at least on the East Coast. I think it's still it's still before Levi's bedtime on this in Central.
Hopefully.
Not to dox you, but he's in Central Standard Time. But that's all the topics I
say
got.
go Cubs.
Yeah. So I mean, you put it together, and he worked at the federal, Chicago Fed.
All right.
He's sneaky.
His middle name is Cletus. But yeah, no, that's really all the topics I got. I don't know if you guys have anything that's like firing your butt up that you want to talk about, but sorry, my topics might have been a little bit low today. I rushed.
No, it's okay. I think the only thing I really am thinking about is all these players, particularly Snell, but we'll see what happens. I mean, all we can do is wait.
The only thing I'm thinking about is the marginal PD users and how we can.
That's all I'm thinking about. Marginal.
That probably is all you're thinking about for like the last few months. All right, well, Levi, thanks for coming, man. I'd definitely love to have you back on, and we could talk about some more stupid stuff as the season goes on. There'll definitely be more opportunities.
Maybe we can talk Oakland at some point if you have any thoughts on that.
Or the
because
broadcasting stuff too. We would love a great econ mind for some
Yes,
broadcasting
for sure.
conversation.
Yeah, no, I would be honored to be back on the show.
I can't tell if that was sarcasm.
No, I swear to God.
I was like, oh yeah, I would be extremely honored.
Yeah.
I'll definitely be back on. All right. Well, stay tuned to see if Levi comes back on. Other than that, thanks everybody, and see you guys next time.
Make sure you hit that subscribe button. You like the video, leave a comment if you have anything about what we talked about, or make sure you go ahead and watch Levi's video. If you watch that and have any questions, like maybe leave some questions, and maybe that's a good way to get Levi back on the show if you're a big Levi fan, as we all are.
Leave questions, Levi. I'll send him. Levi, I'll see him. He's a fan of the show, so he'll be peeping the
out
comments.
there.
Yeah,
I'll be directly in the comments answering them.
Yeah.
Especially if they're mean.
He's like, this guy is work Stigs. All right. Well, till next time.
See ya.
Tell me what you're drinking, we can go pour one. Tell me what you're thinking, we can have some more fun. I know that you said you don't think of me, but what you're doing now is telling different. Tell me what you're drinking, we can go pour one. Tell me what you're thinking, we can have some more fun. I know that you said you don't think of me, but what you're doing now is telling differently.